I see that. I can't wait to like actually hear it because it'll be me and the audience hearing it for the first time. Oh goodness. Okay, so have you ever heard of the phrase chase but never chosen?
Mm, yes, 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 yes. It's like the story of our lives.
Isn't that like a soap opera, the story of our lives? Or am I thinking of something else? The tale
Days
of
of our lives.
days of our whatever.
Mhm. And as the world turns, with
As
the
the
bold and the
world turns,
beautiful, and the
days
young
of
and the
our lives.
restless.
And story of our lives. That'll be the next soap opera. I'm claiming it here. So
Yes.
I just feel like, in my experience, unfortunately, I have always been the side chick or the mistress, and never intentionally. It's
Mm,
like I keep finding myself in these situations where the guy chases me, and maybe I let him catch me, and then I find out like I'm never going to be the girl.
mm,
And that has been bugging me a lot lately because I'm just
mhm.
like, first, what the fuck is going on? And second, why? Like, and I don't know. I just like I get annoyed because on one hand, it's like, oh, maybe these guys think I'm hot and that's an ego boost. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if they do think I'm hot, I'm more than just a hot person. Like, I have a whole personality, a whole life, so much to offer, but nobody is choosing me. I mean, let me roll that back. I have had boyfriends, but
Yeah.
it's just like lately it just feels like no guy is choosing me.
So it's funny you mentioned that because with the whole, relation to how I kind of linked up the Warner Brothers and the Looney Tunes characters and kind of tied it into like the different like personalities and the characters of the guys that like we encounter. One of them is the Roadrunner. And it's like similar to this situation where it's like, you know how the Roadrunner, he like comes in, beep beep, gets the attention of the coyote. The coyote is like, okay, I want to get this, Roadrunner because it has my attention now, and I want to capture it. And then Roadrunner's like, nope, I'm out. And then now, next thing you know, something is dropping on the coyote. Coyote is left looking stupid, looking dumb, falling, and it's
It's
like in a
like
relationship. It's like now,
reality.
yeah,
Reality is
it's like
being dropped on you.
exactly. And now you're in your emotions, you're in your feelings. It's like, okay, what happened? Now this guy ran off. What's happening? So yeah. The
Yeah,
Roadrunner.
I I can't wait to hear all of these later, but like I'm very interested and I'm interested to see like at least some of these guys from last episode that we held the memorial service for, see like what category they fit in. But I remember I used to be so flattered like that a
Hmm.
guy would be chasing me. But now
Hmm.
I'm just realizing like they're either bored or
Hmm.
they just like the chase. And I'm trying to like, I'm making sure that I'm not internalizing this, right? Because well, I found this Reddit post, right? I'm gonna like read it quickly because
Yeah.
I feel me and this girl who wrote this post, like we are one and the same. And like I
Okay.
said the last episode, like I know I'm not alone. I think there are other people like this. So this Redditor wrote, don't mean to sound like another person looking for validation on the internet, but this has been my experience so far. I'm a 28-year-old female, and I've always been described as a nice, smart, but quiet girl by people who know me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not so shy that I don't talk to people. Plenty of guys try to flirt or ask me out. I've gone on dates, and I think it goes well until I find out that the guy just wants to hook up, and that's it. I'm seriously bummed out by my experiences and I cannot figure out what is wrong with me. I go after different types of guys and still get the same result. So that is what she wrote. And somebody responded something that I thought was interesting. So they made 2 points where they were talking about the commodification of sex and dating process due to apps and like how it's easier for guys who are like relatively attractive to like find lots of girls and hook up. So like guys don't really want to be in a relationship because
Mm-hmm.
so many girls are available to them. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I think I've heard this before, and that's interesting. And then this person says, like, basically, guys find you attractive enough to want to hook up with you, but not attractive enough to make you their girlfriend. And that's where I was like,
Yeah.
oh, is that me? Because not me thinking all these guys think I'm hot and, that's why they're chasing me. But actually, they're like, yeah, you're well within my league and maybe below. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
fuck with you, but to be
Yes.
seen in public with you, nah.
Like, I'll just keep you back here, and then when I come around.
Like, what? Who am I? Quasimodo? Like, what the fuck?
Right?
I like literally when I read that, I was just like, well, that didn't make me feel any better about myself.
No, not at all. So I heard an interesting thing this week. And it was called the Hot Crazy Matrix. Is
Oh,
that the whole ordeal?
yeah.
And I was like, what? And I'm sure people that tune in, they probably are like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, especially guys. But how the chart worked and how there's this realm of over, five is what guys typically shoot for, no less than a five on a hot scale. And then they start us off at four on the crazy automatically. And then there's this fun area that was like in between, I think like five and eight
I think
and
so.
then
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, and it's like they want to keep those around. And then it's like this other window of wife material. And then it's this little bitty unicorn. So I feel like they keep you in that fun area for those purposes on, what the lady was like expressing in the Reddit article. And that's where everyone gets grouped in and just like, when's my turn? Am I gonna get chosen? Are you gonna pick me out of the little drop down little
The little
gadget?
claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, don't pick me. Don't even talk to me.
Like,
Just leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered if you don't want anything. If you just want to hook up, there are people that you can pay to do that.
yes. Yes, there's services for that.
There are
Okay.
services for that. Or if
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel like you're that kind of person, you can go
Mm-hmm.
take someone on a date and pay the same amount
Mm-hmm.
and get
Exactly.
them. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, just leave me alone. And I recently got back on the dating apps and literally like I'm swiping and every time a guy messages me, I'm just rolling my eyes at this point. I'm just like, I'm not interested. I don't want it. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah. It's like, what are you here for? What is your objective?
Yeah,
It's
like,
exhausting. It gets exhausting. It's like
yeah.
swiping fatigue.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
We should talk about that on another episode.
We
Swiping
should.
fatigue and dating fatigue. I feel like dating fatigue was definitely me last year because I was all those dates and for what? Oh, just a waste of time. Ugh.
It
Anyways.
was. But you know who you kind of like mentioned as far as the characters, right? With the
Oh,
hunt, Mr.
oh.
Elmer Fudge. Remember
Ooh.
Mr. I'm Hunting Rabbit
Yep.
for his rabbit stew, or to have, that trophy hanging up on the wall?
Ooh.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
hunter. Yep. He wants to just fulfill whatever appetite he needs to get, whether it be rabbit stew or to have those antlers on the wall to show off, and then that's where they stay. Why they're out prowling for the next hunt in the fun zone.
So are any of these characters, are any of them good? Or are they all just useless?
Mm, bleep, bleep, bleep. That's all, folks.
But
mean, look, it all depends on what you're looking for. Because there was a period I was like, kind of like, Bugs Bunny might be good, but Bugs Bunny had his flaws too, So it's all based off of what exactly you need in your life,
Okay, so
you
give
know.
us the rundown of all of the characters. Let me see if any of these, if
I
I,
didn't do all. I did a few.
oh, okay. Well,
So we're
let's
gonna have to
do,
recap them on the next one.
okay.
So the ones that stuck out the most, Pepe. Oh, Pepe Le Pew.
The Love
The
Bomber.
little, yeah, see what?
Get him
Mister,
out of
I'm gonna
here.
come at you full force, not pick up on social cues whatsoever. I don't care. I am all in. And it's like you want that, right? I really like, yes, be all about me. But then what there's this stench that lingers at the end of it. Something in the milk ain't clean.
I've
You
never
have
heard that
him.
before.
Yeah. And this is crazy how like all of this is getting like, wait a minute. Might be onto something here. And then yeah, I literally started looking at the characters and then looking at their like personality and character traits. And I was like, oh my goodness, Warner Brothers was really trying to Warner Brother and a sister at the end of the day. on, on what's out here in this Looney Tunes world.
This
We
world
already went
really is loony. Yes.
yes, it is. So I went over Fudge already. I went over the Roadrunner, Daffy Duck. Now Daffy, remember Daffy? He was supposed to be the one that was like Bugs Bunny's buddy, like sidekick, kind of there for him, being supportive, helping him out. But he always was like plotting against him. And so he was like always had like some kind of ulterior motive, trying to be the
Okay.
showboat. He actually wanted the spotlight. And so those are like the guys like, oh yeah, I'm here to support you, but they never want you to outshine them.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
like pull it back, honey. Like, don't you need to go over here and wash dishes, or why are you doing too much? Like, like
I've
those type
heard
of guys.
of so many cases where like a girl is dating a guy and she starts doing really well in life, and then he starts being incredibly like mean to her. And I don't understand that whole notion, like, I want you to shine, but you can't shine brighter than me. It's just like, I've always been the person, like, there's room at the top for everybody.
Yes.
Like, the top is not a peak. The top is like a, what, like a plateau. Or, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's still going. It can continue
yeah, and
on.
like my top doesn't have to be your top. So
Nope.
like I've definitely met a few guys, and these are guys who either didn't make it out the dating app or like one date wonders, right? Where
Mhm.
you could tell that they were, say, intimidated. I don't like using that word, but I could tell that they were just like, oh, this
Mm,
girl has her shit together and she's probably doing better than me in life. And I don't like that. Like that makes them insecure. So
mm,
that guy gotta go too. Mm-mm.
mm-hmm.
Nope. I don't want some guy who's always plotting against me or who
Yes.
is competing with me. Like we're supposed to be teammates. We're supposed
Yes,
to
we're
work on
supposed to
this
be in this together.
together.
Hmm.
But if you always trying to be combative and be my opponent, we're not going anywhere.
Hmm. Nope. Mm-mm. Which leads to Yosemite Sam, Mr.
Okay.
Aggressive, short-tempered, sometimes a good guy, but it's like, well, why are you doing this? Well, what are you doing here? Well, why? Like always on the defense, and it's like, whoa, sir, I didn't hurt you, King. It wasn't me. It was not me. I promise. And it can be a bit much and overbearing. And then you end up in one of those situations because hopefully that comes out sooner, which it never does. You just find that out later on down the road when something happens or if he's triggered or by something, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, who's this Glenn slinging person now? Who are you that's aggressive and short tempered? Yeah.
So we're just in a Looney Tune world with these freaking abysmal men.
And don't forget the chicken hawk girl,
I
little
don't
Mr.
even know
Tough
who that
Guy.
is.
I remember the chicken hawk. Oh
Is
man.
that the
So he
rooster?
Yeah, so he was with the rooster. He was the little bitty, short, stubby chicken hawk that was like strong and mighty, tough guy, outspoken, showing off his strength. I'm going to beat my chest because I'm an alpha man. Oops, did I say that? But yeah, little chicken hawk. Mhm.
Look, I'm literally like Googling this because I'm just like, who is this?
Henry Hawk.
Oh,
Remember him? Yeah. So yeah. Mhm.
no. So far, none of these are for me.
No, no. It's interesting. So yeah, so those are the ones that stood out to me um over the last few days. Yeah. Be careful of the
I
characters
Yeah,
that are
I
out
feel
here.
like I
Okay, that
feel
are
like you
chasing
need
you.
to do an analysis on other cartoons.
Yes, yes. I might do Disney next. Let's see.
Oh, don't get me started on Disney. Disney is responsible for all of my bad relationships because I just believed in Prince Charming when I was actually dealing with the villain. So, yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, we should do a
And
Disney
then
episode. I would actually really love that.
I like that too. I'm down. Definitely down.
That would
So
probably
when is
heal my inner child.
right? I like it. So speaking of the whole chasing, you never chosen situation, one of the things that I've encountered a lot of where I feel like I am more of the foster girlfriend.
Oof.
And it's like you're there, you meet a nice guy, and you're building your team, you're helping each other out, and then things seem to go great. But then again, it's like, okay, well, where are we progressing from here? And then they end up like suddenly it's just like, oh, well, no, either you stop talking or you lose communication or something happens. And then next thing you know it, they done ran off and they got married. Or they're patrolling someone else around the world. It's like, okay, well, I guess I was just here to help, build you up and get you on track. And then, oh, you grow up so fast.
No, I literally have this saying that I will
Mhm.
never build up a man. I will
Yeah.
never do it. I have done it so
Mhm.
many times. And it's not so much that I feel I need to reap the benefits because that's
Yeah.
not the kind of person that I am, but it's
Hmm.
more so like I did this for what? Like I thought I was doing this so that
Hmm.
we could reap the benefits.
Yes.
And I thought that's what you thought, but apparently you were just using me because I made you special. I
Hmm.
lifted you up when you needed it, but you already had your sights on someone else. Like you already knew that I wasn't the one that you wanted to be
Yes.
with, but you stayed for all the things that I could do for you.
Hmm.
So I've noticed that like I'd say fairly early on in my dating life. And I was just like, oh, won't be doing that ever again.
Mm-mm.
I will not be
Mm-mm.
building. You need to come built. You need to come
Yes.
potential. You
Mhm.
need to come having everything because I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Mhm.
I ain't got the nuts and bolts and the hammer and the screws to help build you up, put you together. Nope, not over here.
Nope. I am not Barbisha the builder for another man. No, sorry, Bob.
Right? And for them to go off and spend it and have all that growth with somebody else. It's like, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I haven't been a foster girlfriend for a while.
Hmm.
I think my most recent experience kind of felt like that because it was just so crazy. And then next thing I know, he's engaged. So it's
Hmm.
just like, oh. But I've had so many friends who told me like they're the foster girlfriend. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry for you. I don't know what that feeling is, but I empathize. And like now I'm like, okay, I guess I got it. Like it definitely does not feel great. Do
No.
you have like, I don't know, do you have like any advice other than not building a man of how not to be a
Yeah.
foster girlfriend?
See the signs, okay? Make sure that when you're going into it, that you're on the same like playing like level of playing field. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what are we trying to build here? What are we working towards? Be more transparent initially, because I know I have a tendency to not necessarily want to have those tough questions right off. You're just like, oh, we're just gonna kind of go with the flow and then see where we end up. And it's like, yeah, no. And that's how you end up like, okay, what? Like the coyote. But but address it in the beginning. Just like have those tough conversations to make sure you're not wasting your time and hoping on one end and it's not being reciprocated. And then next thing you know, you're left with oh, they grow up so fast paced and they're doing it with somebody else now.
No, I think that's good advice. I'm just like, trust your gut.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've had to relearn over and over and over again because I've had to like figure out what's anxiety and like what's my gut feeling. And I've
Mhm.
had to learn to like really trust my gut, trust my body. Like my body
Mhm.
knows if something isn't right. So if you're
Mhm.
feeling uneasy around somebody, even if you feel like you have butterflies, like that is probably not the person you need to be around. And that's not
Yeah.
just for not being a foster girlfriend. That's for not putting yourself in any situation that you might regret. But I agree. Like look at the signs, have those tough conversations early on, see where they are in
Mhm.
life. There is something true about being equally yoked. Like
Mhm. Yes.
you want a partner, not a project, right? So it's this is like it's really solid advice. And I'm one of those people like I feel like I can give advice all day. Can I take it?
Hmm.
No.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
I'm the problem. It's me. Yes, because
Yeah.
I be knowing, but I just don't want to believe it. And so I just act on hopes and dreams and fantasy. Thank you, Disney.
Mhm. I tell that all the
Instead
time. I
of
still believe in a
reality.
fairy tale.
The problem with it is we always see the fairy tale end at the beginning, right? So like what
Mhm.
happens after the marriage? What happens after you whisk me away? I want to see that story because that story is probably not too pretty. We only were sold half of the dream.
Right? Like, what happened to Ariel after she got those legs and then she whisked away from her family? What happened then?
I think they actually have like a Little Mermaid too. She like had a kid.
Really? Oh,
I haven't seen it in so long, but I think there was
and
a
seeing for me, that's like one of my favorite like movies, but I will have not watched past that moment because I'm like, no, this is where the fairy tale is supposed to end, like
The
right
Little
there.
Mermaid is your
Perfect.
favorite one?
This is
What?
my favorite.
Oh,
Like I
girl,
still tear up at the end and everything.
she
Like I
literally gave up her voice for a man. I could never. There's no way. You are
and
not
it's because
shutting me up,
like
sir.
good for you. You know what I mean? Like you go. I like it. I want to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's so amazing. It's so awesome what she's doing over there.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. We're definitely gonna have a Disney episode. We're gonna analyze the shit out of these Disney characters. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we are. Another thing I would advise I would give, which I am like real adamant on, is the ghosters or the ones that fade out and then want to pop back up. In any situation like that, and then this year, what I'm doing is I'm deleting them off the app. It's like if we start talking and then suddenly you just go MIA for about like a 24, 48-hour time period without like nothing, and you just pop back up, hey, or good morning. Like Where'd you just come from? Like, remember that one animated meme where it's like a couple on a date and the girl's there and she's like having conversations, like asking him like questions like, hey, where are we going? What are we doing here? And things like that. And he's just like, oh, I'm just chilling. Oh, okay. I'm cool. How are you? Like that. And then
Oh,
he fades
yes.
out. And
Yes,
then
yes,
like she's
yes.
like, what? What? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Then he comes back, he apologizes. Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, beautiful. Like, wait, what? Like he
I
just disappeared.
Yeah, I feel like that's so in line with like being chased but never chosen because like they're chasing you, they catch you, then they disappear, and they watch you kind of go away and do your own thing, and they're like, "Oh, she went too far."
Like, hey, beautiful.
Yeah.
How are
My
you?
my ex, he used to call like his little girls when he was single chickens.
Hmm.
And I was just like, why are you calling them chickens? Like I was so confused. And he was like,
Hmm.
because you like you kind of let your chickens roam free, but whenever you like have something for them or you want something for them, you throw the chicken feed out so they come back. And then you just let them go.
Hmm.
And then like when you miss them, you throw the feed out again. And it's just like
Hmm.
you sneaky little bastard. You just breadcrumbing girls. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I get
Give them
it.
just enough so they'll come back.
Yes. Yes. And I was just like, wow. So this is like, he was saying it like it was nothing. So I was like, oh, this is literally something that men do
Hmm.
consciously. They know that they're doing it and they actively participate in this. Great. Like,
Cut them
cut,
off.
cutting them off. Yeah. So I'm at the point where like, don't chase me, don't choose me. Just leave me
No.
alone. Because,
Leave me be.
yeah, because I'm with you. The first sign of you acting funny, you wanting to like go away, come back, like you're blocked.
Stay where you are.
Yeah,
Please don't come back over here. No.
please don't.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Stay over there with whoever you were with.
Hmm.
Also like for me, I'm doing this thing too where like if a guy's like, oh, I have a lot going on. Okay,
Hmm.
bye.
Cool. Yep. Ew.
Go
Good
handle
luck.
that. Yeah, don't come
Okay.
back over here. Just all the
No.
excuses. I'm so over it. I feel like I just want to remove myself from the dating game. Like, don't even look my way. I'm not interested.
I know. And then you want to have hope. You know me, I'm a little Miss Hopeful. Like, well, maybe now, because he's just not
Breeds
going to just show
eternal
up at my
misery.
door. Huh?
I said hope breeds eternal misery.
I know. I just wish God would just turn him into my DoorDash guy and just bring him up to my door and then we could just call it a day.
If only it were
That's,
that easy.
I know. Like, ugh. I started eyeing my post office like mailbox guy. Like,
No, it's not that
mm,
serious. I don't think, but I don't know. Mm-mm.
yeah, it's draining. It's that online swiping fatigue. And it's just like, why bother? Why are you bothering to chase if your ultimate goal isn't to necessarily like choose? It's like, don't even bother. Just keep going. Just
Yeah,
keep
it
going.
is. I think it's literally just like a gamification. I think that's a word. So like
Mhm.
the swiping is a game. The
Mhm.
who will respond to you is a game. The
It's a
um,
sport.
yeah,
Literally
it's
a
a
sport.
sport. Yeah, it
Mhm.
hell, the
Yep.
way the dating game is going, it's gonna be a sport in the Olympics. Not this year, but in 4 years.
Who can spike the most?
It's gonna be like an extreme sport in the Olympics, and I feel like America is gonna win gold. And it's gonna be the most rusty, dusty, musty, busted up
Oh,
man who's gonna
yeah.
win because
Oh my gosh.
because that's the
Or
world
it's
we
gonna
live
be a catfish.
in.
You
Ooh,
might be a catfish.
the catfish are the winners. Honestly, no shade. The catfish are the real winners
Yeah.
because They're just out here having fun, knowing, knowing
Mhm.
that they're not who they say they are. They're living their best lives, and I'm not mad at them. I got
Mhm.
catfish once, and I just laughed because I was just like, wow, wow.
Oh man, what happened?
Oh,
Like, what
I
did
didn't
he
tell
say?
you. So
Uh,
this was here in Indy. By the way, we're both transplants. I don't know if
yes.
we haven't made that clear.
No.
So we are both not from this city slash state.
Yeah.
So anyways, I moved here and I literally don't remember when this was exactly, but I was swiping and I swiped on this guy and I was just like, you know what? He looks okay. And we're like
Mhm.
chit-chatting. I'm like, okay, he can have a conversation. Cool. So he asked if I wanted to go eat at, I think it was a Japanese restaurant. I was like, hell yeah, I love Japanese food. So I get there and the place is closed. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, this sounds like the start of a murder documentary. Great.
Mhm.
So I'm looking around, I don't see this guy, and I'm texting him, like, hey, this place is closed. He was like, oh, yeah, I see that. I'm sorry. I was like, you see it. And so I'm like looking, like, where the fuck are you?
Where? Yeah.
And I see a guy kind of like standing off to the side, and I'm just like, well, surely that's not him. And so I'm going on about my business, and I'm like, okay, well, this is downtown too. So I was like, hey, there's some other spots open. Where do you want to go? And he was like, oh, you can choose wherever. I was like, okay. So I just walked, I don't know, a few blocks maybe. And I saw this other place and it was open. I was like, okay, cool. Like, why don't we go here? It's open. It was some kind of crab place. I don't fucking know. And he was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, okay, I'll be there in a second." I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I'm just like waiting outside, and I think he's texting me, and I see the same guy, and he's texting at the same time that I'm receiving messages. I'm just like, "Surely this is not the guy because this
Yeah.
doesn't look like the guy." And he's
Yeah.
like walking over, but he's not making eye contact. He's
Yeah.
close enough that I can see his face and his facial feature, and I can see him texting, but he's not making eye contact. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here, and I don't know if I like it. So finally, he comes up and he introduces himself, and I'm just
Uh-huh.
looking at him, and I'm just like, clearly you are not the guy in this photo. And if you
It was
are,
way off. Was it completely off?
he was the same race and
Uh-huh.
gender. And that's all I can say. That's
Oh
it.
man.
I was like, if this is this guy, these photos have to be 20 years old.
Oh.
And I was just like, okay, well, I'm already here. I already paid for parking. Let's do
Oh.
this. So we get in the restaurant, we sit down, and we like, he's asking me, well, like, what I want to order. And he's just acting like nothing's wrong. This is like the weirdest part. He's not saying, I'm sorry, or let me
Yeah.
explain, or you may be confused. I'm sure you have questions, something. And I'm just like,
Wow.
oh, like, what is going on here right
Wow.
now? So as the date is progressing, I will say like it wasn't a bad date. Like he could still hold a conversation. He just was not attractive to look at.
Yeah.
But during the course of the day, he asked me a question about like my photo. And he was like, I think he was asking like if the background was real, like implying that I photoshopped. And I put down my fork and I just looked at him. Like, are we gonna have this conversation, sir? Are you sure you want to have this conversation about my photo that is not photoshopped, by the way, against your photos? Like, what's going on here? And
Oh my God, the
I didn't
audacity.
the audacity, right? And I didn't respond. So, anyways, so the day ended, and I think he like wanted to walk me to my car, or no, I want to say he asked me to his hotel. And again, I just
Oh.
looked at him like, sir, seriously? Like, I was so fucking like confused. he wanted to walk me to my car, and I was just like, no, you don't have to. Like, go ahead and call your Uber and go. Like, I'm fine to walk. Because I didn't want him to like see my license. You know, like if you're
Yeah.
gonna
Hmm.
use someone else's photos on
Yeah.
a dating app and have the nerve to show up to the date
Yeah.
as not the person in the photos and then
Yeah.
act as if nothing is wrong, you're probably crazy. You're
Yeah. Very
probably,
much so.
yeah, you're probably a little loco. So I was like, yeah, I don't need him seeing like my license plate and, trying to track me down. So
No.
yeah, so I did not let him walk me to my car. And like after
Yeah.
he texted me, like, oh, I had such a great time. Do you want to meet up again? And
Who am I going to meet the next time?
I just did block. I just went on about my day. It
Yeah.
was, yeah, so that was my only
No.
catfishing experience. But I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've heard worse. I was like, at least he was the same race and gender. Like, I guess he just
Yeah.
thought maybe I was stupid and wouldn't notice.
Right? Like, it just blows my mind. Like, you don't even bring it up. You don't even address it. Like, it's just okay.
And honestly, if he would have addressed it, I'm not saying I would have seen him again, but I would have like maybe like, you know, maybe he's insecure, whatever. But at
Hmm.
least he addresses it. But the fact that he
Yes.
literally showed up as himself, that is not himself on photos. I was like, nah, bruh. This is not how I'm going down in Indy.
And
This is
then question your background.
the audacity. I could
I
not get
love
over it. I was just like, how are you gonna have the nerve to ask me about my photo that is clearly
Yeah.
me
Hmm.
when you have a whole online life that you fabricated, sir? Please be
Yes.
for real. Please.
Yes. Ugh, I don't even know what I would have did in that situation. My biggest thing that I encounter is just the older photos. Is that the guys have photos online and then you see them in person, it's like clearly like a 10-year difference between the two. Like, okay. How old are your photos online? This is start asking, like, when was the last time you updated your photos online? Like automatically, or start doing the video prior to. I really started doing that. Like, hey, let's video chat real quick, and then go from there. Cause yeah,
That's honestly not a bad idea. I have
hmm.
been opposed to that for the longest time, but now that I'm so burnt out and I don't
Hmm.
want to get dressed up for nothing, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I will do a video and like set like a 30-minute time limit because I do not have
Yeah.
all day to talk to you. So I'm thinking about doing that whenever I decide to like actually date again.
To
I
say,
think
hey, set the tone already. Like, hey, I got a few minutes. Let's do a real quick video chat. Just to make sure we're on the same page, we vibe, and then
yeah,
we can go from there. And then so they
yeah.
know, like, hey, time is critical. We only got a few minutes. Gotta go do other stuff.
Right? I have a life,
And
sir. I don't have time to
yeah,
be chased and not chosen, sir.
right. Like, no, no. So hopefully, this year more choosing. You know, maybe, maybe not. But just don't chase. Don't chase if you're not trying to choose. Okay. Don't lace up the shoes. Don't come running over here if you're not
Please,
trying to actually pick up.
please don't lace up your shoes. So if you're not being for real, you can just trip over yourself. Like, please leave us alone. We didn't want
Yeah.
I don't want to be bothered. I can't speak for anybody else. Like I'm just at the point I don't want to be bothered if you're not interested in anything. I'm
Mhm.
not.
I have enough friends.
I have
I
enough
don't need
friends.
anyone.
I'm not into casual hookups. I am not into
No.
casual dating.
Mm-mm.
Um, None of those things. I am looking for a life partner. And if
Mhm.
that is not something that you're interested in, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
okay. I'm not for
I
you,
wish you the best.
right? I'm just not for you. And that That's fine. And honestly, I sometimes I tell guys, I go back and forth. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm just having fun until I meet my husband. Or I'm like, oh, I'm just looking for a connection. Or I'm like, oh, I'm looking for something serious. So I just like kind of I change it up every now and then, but I have noticed when I try to be real with a guy and like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and if you are not into this thing that I'm into, then we're not a match. It's like they get so offended. It's
Mm,
almost as if I actually had this thought the other day. It's almost as if guys want to be the ones who live out their Disney fantasy. I've met
mm,
so many guys who are just like, oh, well, why can't we do it this way? And it's supposed to be us like getting to know each other and falling for each other and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, why? Why would I do all that if you're not actually interested? Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. And I've had like situations where I'm just like, hey, I honestly, I'm just looking for sex. Like,
Mm.
oh, but I want to take you out and I want to do all these things. Like, I don't know. I don't want that. I just want this one specific thing. And they don't like it. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I thought all y'all wanted was sex. But now that I'm
Yeah.
telling you this is what I want,
Yeah.
it's a
But
problem.
they
Yeah,
clutching pearls,
I
girl.
know. So I just, well, one, I have no idea what men want. That's very clear. But two, it's just like, now that I'm very clear on like what I'm looking for in life, there are no men.
Mm,
There are men, but there are no eligible men for like
yeah.
what I want, and it's sad.
Mm. Like, how dare you be a woman and express what you want?
I
How dare you?
literally, I'm not shitting you. I truly believe men just want to live out their own version of a fairy tale. Well, they love bomb you, they make you fall in love, and then when you're like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm in love with you. Give me all my flowers." Then they're like, "Oh no. No, 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 no.
Hmm.
I don't want that."
Hmm.
And it's just like, you could have said that from the beginning, sir. You
Yes.
could have been
Be
clear, sir.
honest.
Yeah, you
Yes.
could have been honest, but they're not. And I don't know. I get so annoyed because I'm just like,
Hmm.
we could have saved each other so much time if you were just honest from the jump. Because if you just want sex, there are girls who just want sex. If you're looking to
Hmm.
casually date, there are girls who are looking to casually date. If you're looking for something long
Hmm.
term, there are women who are looking for things that are long term. Like there is somebody out there for you. You don't have to scheme and plan and connive and all of these things. You don't have to do
Nope.
it. But the
Nope. And don't
minute
put on your profile, I'm looking for my queen.
left swipe, left swipe, left, mm-mm. You looking for a queen, looking to build, none of that. All left swipe. But I don't know. I found it very interesting that the more that I'm direct about what I want and what I'm looking for, it's like the more pushback I get from men. And I don't know. I don't know if you've experienced that or not, but I'm just like, okay,
Hmm.
forgive me for knowing what I want and for expressing it.
No, that's when you're expressing the masculine energy.
Girl, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's what they call it. You're giving me masculine energy. What? What, sir? Because I know what I want, and I'm letting you know so we don't waste each other's time. Like, I give kudos to the guys that put on their profile that I'm just looking for friends with benefits, something casual, or just someone to hold conversations with. I'm like, I look at them like, right on, brother. I hope you find what you're looking for. Swipe, like, be honest, you know? You're not here wasting my time with a bunch of, hey, good morning. How was your day? Good night. Hey, queen, queen, this. And it's just
What
like
are
a
you
loop of
doing?
a
What are you
hamster wheel
doing?
of where are we going? We're just on this hamster wheel. And it's like, what do you want? What do you want?
That should be like my opening message from now on. What do you want?
Hmm.
Are you gonna
Right.
waste my time? What do you want? That's so
What is your
funny.
objective? What are you hoping to gain from this? Yeah. Let me help you help me. And don't disturb my peace. Let's just look.
Ooh, I'm heavy on the don't disturb my peace. Just
All right. I'm just ready to find somebody that I can be comfortable with in sweats on the couch. Let's watch some binge watch some TV.
yes. I'm looking for somebody I can annoy because that's what I just want to annoy you and then just be all up on you like this.
All right. I'm tired of
That's
getting
what I
cute
want.
and going out and it's just like, eh.
Especially in indie. Oh my goodness. So speaking of that, we are planning to potentially, hopefully, fingers crossed, get
Uh-huh.
some guests on who can talk about the places to go in Indy to meet people.
Mhm.
I've lived here for what, a year and some change now.
Mhm.
And every time I go out, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. I don't know if that's because it's not here in Indy or if I'm just not in the right spots.
Mhm.
So we will be looking for some guests, some, I guess, like local celebrities to talk to us about where to go,
Mhm.
to meet people, to be seen, where are the hot spots. Because
Yeah.
clearly,
No.
we don't know if you're like us, but we
No.
are going to all the wrong places.
Right. And then hopefully All-Star Weekend brings in a lot of, you know, people as well. We do have that coming up here in Indy.
We do have All-Star Weekend. That's not
Hmm.
gonna help anyone who's like looking for
No,
my man,
check
my
out
man,
this.
my man that's in town, but maybe looking for
I'm
some.
not opposed at this point for a long distance relationship.
Oh, me either.
Like that'd be exciting. Like I visit you, you visit me. Like let's do it. You never know. Hmm.
Yeah, so well, we're excited about that. More to come. Just putting it out there in the universe. Because if it doesn't help anybody, it'll help us.
Hmm.
We want to be useful to the viewers and the listeners, but we also want to be useful to ourselves. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, who knows? They might have like suggestions, like how I mentioned in the last one, like the whole like seasons. Like maybe they might give pointers on like, hey, during this season, go to these type of sporting events or sports bars or go to these festivals and or, you know, do these type of things that kind of make yourself more approachable. You know, because sometimes guys say that too. They're like, "Hey, I don't feel like I can approach anybody." I had one guy to tell me that online. He said he was like, "Yeah, girls here are real closed off, and I don't feel comfortable with approaching women." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "They're just mean." Well, what makes them mean, and how do you know that they're mean if you're not approaching them? Like, like what are you basing all of this off of? You know, so yeah, maybe they can shed some light on some things.
maybe. Oh, do you have any closing thoughts?
Um, Let's see. Chase never chosen. Make sure that if you are the one that's chasing, that you just stick to your goal. Okay. If you have a certain outline and something specific that you're looking for, stay the course on that. Don't take little side detours to waste people's time when that's not who you're trying to choose. Okay. Stay the course on where you're trying to go. And then if you're the one that, you know, you feel like you're being chased, make sure that person that is chasing you, y'all align and that y'all have the same goal in mind. Otherwise, you're just wasting a bunch of your time. Make sure you align. Don't waste your time. Boom. Bars.
Bars. Yes, love it. I
What
don't
about
have
you? What you
I don't have any thoughts. Just leave me alone.
got?
Leave me alone. Oh, I'm so I don't know. I just don't want to be bothered. Uh I'll just
Yeah.
reiterate what I said earlier. Like, trust your gut, listen to your body.
Mhm.
It's a wild, crazy world out there, and the dating world just does not seem to be getting any better. So save yourself some heartache and listen to what your body is saying when you're meeting somebody, when you're talking to somebody. Don't be afraid to cut things off. I know I have that problem sometimes where I'm just like, oh, well, I just met him. So maybe, like, I make a lot of excuses for men. I don't
Mhm.
know why, but I do it. And just don't be afraid to cut things off. Like, who cares if you've been talking for like a month or 2 months and things
Yeah.
were going great and but they did something questionable? Like, bye. There's somebody
Mhm.
else out there. So that's what I would say. And just keep your eyes peeled because
Yeah.
dudes out here chasing for no reason.
Right? Don't block your blessings by keeping somebody that's not even worth in that spot. Like, no, get them out of here and open it up for the person that's supposed to be there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Warner Brothers was trying to warn a brother.
I love that. I want to change the name of the episode to that.
But Warner Brothers,
Warner Brothers tried to Warner Brother. Yeah, we're changing that. That's
yes. Hmm. Then we have
uh
like Warner Brothers Part Two.
yeah, you have more characters to dissect. You're onto
Mm.
something for sure.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, this was good. This was good.
Well, anyways, guys, girlies, whoever is listening, thank you so much for joining us. And let us know what you think about our topic so far, or if you have a topic you want us to kind of hash out amongst the girls. Um,
Also, if there are any questions for us, so if there are any
yes,
questions you have for us, put them in the comments because we will have a future Q&A episode where we combine all the questions and then we address them for you.
I'm so ready for that. Like, I don't like when people ask me questions like if I'm in like a social situation, but I do like Q&As. But like don't
Mhm.
ask me questions about me, I guess. Like ask me ask me about anything but myself. But I am so excited for that because some of like my favorite podcasts I listen to, like when they do Q&As, I'm just like, oh, yes, I love this. Let me hear what you have to say. I'm so interested in other people's opinions about things. So I just assume people are interested in my opinion.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but that's what I think.
I love it. I love it. But we would definitely love to hear from you. So we will also like if you can rate and review, bring on more people, tell them about us, subscribe to the channel. Also, we have IG, so follow us there, bring in more. So, and then
Yeah,
subscribe so you can get updates and alerts from when we're on.
yes. And I think we're gonna have a TikTok too. So yeah, we'll be on social media. We'll be there. We're just starting, right? So this is episode 2. We are trying to build this up, build a brand from literally nothing, from scratch, from an idea.
Conversations over cocktail.
Yeah. So we are building this from the ground up. So you're welcome to join us on this journey to see where we go. I'm excited. I'm hopeful for us. Um, but yeah, so rate and review us. If you like the episodes, share. If you don't like the episodes, share. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Because who
just
knows, this episode might not be for you, but the next one might.
exactly, exactly. And like we said, we want to hear from you. We want to hear questions. We want to hear what you think about our topics. We want to hear if there are topics you want us to talk about. We want to be And we want to talk amongst ourselves, right? We want to kiki it up, but we also want to be helpful and useful and entertaining. So, yeah, join us on this journey
Mhm.
and get the word out for us. We appreciate it.
Mhm. Thank you all for tuning in to So Yeah. Um, we're out.
We're out. Bye.